we're going to do a top 10 this year. Not as good as David Letterman. Don't have a side man on this. But let's go through top 10 so we can get to Bob's information. Lake Nighthorse. We're not predicting it's going to open. Everybody in this room knows that's happening, right? Finally happening. So we're not predicting it. We've got a few fans up there. You already have your swimming trunks on. That's amazing. But what we are going to tell you is the last line. Now, this is a two-part. One part's not written here. The convenience of recreation will increase property values near the lake. There's a two-pronged situation. Properties near the lake for close proximity for recreation are going to be in higher demand. There's two ways that happens. First, we're going to see those properties absorbed that are on the market today. Home sites and homes near the lake after it opens. They have to absorb to see values increase because we have a fair amount of inventory today that's got wonderful proximity to this recreational reservoir. But after that absorption happens, could be sometime this year, you will see some value increases occur on these properties near the lake. Number 9, rural water. Been in the business 40 years this month, and never thought we'd see a rural water system developed in La Plata County like we see in Montezuma County and Mancos area. But they're here. Obviously, you've heard about the La Plata West Authority taking water from Lake Nighthorse, piping it over to the west, what we call the dry side. Of course, south of Hesperus, north of New Mexico line, but it will grow. The service area will grow over the years. And the water on the dry side is really going to be a game changer because property owners will now have domestic water sources that's reliable because wells are iffy in that area, and a lot of people haul water. Once this occurs and this water system's in place and people can secure taps, we'll probably see some subdivision of some acreage from less than 35 to 40 acres to smaller parcels, and you'll see more growth on the west of La Plata County in the future. La Plata Archuleta Water District, supplying water already today to some users. Let's define that area for those of you not familiar with that. Basically south, more or less south of 160, into Archuleta County, southeast La Plata County, if you just imagine down towards Ignacio, south and southwest of Bayfield. And those pipelines, if you drive around that part of the country, you'll see them being installed. And there are currently users utilizing water. And for some of the users that aren't going to be serviced for 2 or 3 years, the district has gone ahead and set up fill stations, water filling stations for their truck haulers, so they can get free water to take to their homes. You're going to see this area rejuvenate with that rural residential development. Number 8, land sales will continue to increase. Well, you will see on Bob's slides that we have not seen the number of property sales in La Plata County reach pre-recession numbers yet. We were selling more, I think Bob will share, at 04, 05, 06 than we've sold last year, and last year was a strong year. That being said, you're going to see substantial growth in this category because of the lack of residential standing inventory under $700,000. 1. 2, of course, I just talked about the 2 water districts. That could be a game changer as well for land sales, right? And 3, the reduced inventory of lots near utilities and services. Let me just talk about this for a second. Improved residential lots. Edgemont Meadows. If you drive up Florida Road, you're going to see Edgemont Meadows on the right-hand side. For those of you that have been here for a long time, the picnic grounds area, right? The remaining lots in Edgemont Highlands. We have the overlook in Edgemont Highlands that's being approved by the county as we speak. We certainly have Three Springs. Goes without saying. You'll hear more about that later. Twin Buttes, that is building homes currently and has improved lots as well. And Glacier Club, for example. You say, well, Glacier Club, let me tell you, somebody can buy a lot there today that's fully improved and approved and build a home as well, and they have a good selection of lots available. We're going to see great absorption of these lots because of the inventory that's been absorbed over the last few years. Bob's information will support this in a moment. By the way, Bob and I didn't compare slides till this morning. So remember, if we aren't agreeing on a slide, mine's the right one, his is the wrong one. All right, luxury sales. Okay, I came off the 50%, but we're going 35%. Let me just tell you something real quickly. 85 homes on the market today over $1 million, La Plata County. That's a lot. There's 7 under contract as of this morning. There's 5 that have closed year to date. Okay, we're not through March yet. Personally, we believe that this 35% growth should be exceeded. We'll probably see close to 50 residential homes sell, $1 million plus. The best value for 2018 are luxury homes. Not everybody can buy a luxury home. You have 85 to choose from. Not all of them are priced exceedingly low. Some are priced at very high luxury values. But I have to tell you, there's substantial inventory in luxury homes that are unbelievable values because of course, the cost to replace that home today has grown substantially. We'll talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about that right now. Lumber costs, 10% increase March 1st. We're just, 70 days into the year, and we had an increase of 10%, 25% last year. Steel tariff, aluminum tariff, anybody hear about that? Local steel providers said the price of steel today is 30% higher than it was in February. Not all homes have substantial amount of steel. Commercial properties have quite a bit of steel, so we have to pay attention to that. Labor shortage, of course, other materials, fees and taxes. This all being said, we saw great growth and increase in building in 2017 with similar increases in material costs and labor issues. We're going to see it still today, but it's something to pay attention to. Millennial buyers. I'm not going to make millennials stand up. I'm not even sure what they look like. But I can tell you that millennials have led the way, and this is a compliment to millennials, in regards to what they expect in residential real estate. They see real estate, the residential real estate, and they expect higher level finishes, modern materials, better floor planning. And I have to tell you, we have a lot of inventory that's 50, 60, 80, 100 years old in La Plata County. Not all of it's been brought up to current standards. So there is certainly an expectation. And let me say they're leading the way because other buyers and other age groups are expecting the same thing. It could very well be because of social media, home improvement shows they might be viewing on the YouTube thing. But there's less tolerance for dated homes. Here's the value of this slide. If anybody's in the construction, development, building business, I think this is a big opportunity. Big opportunity to acquire homes that are subpar for modern finishes and decor and be able to transform that home to what the buyer wants. Because a lot of buyers don't want to do it themselves. I can tell you that. Number 4, Front Range, California, Texas buyers. Bob will show you some slides on this. But let me just tell you, this week alone, I've had four different people contact me. This is anomaly, but 4 people from the Front Range, all 4 moving here, in the process of buying a home site to build, or a home, or in one case an office, to purchase an office space to move their employees here. All from the Front Range. Now why? Front Range appreciation has been exponential compared to La Plata County. There's a lot of pocket areas in the Front Range, Denver metro area, that the home values have increased substantially, close to 50% more than just 5 years ago. Some of these buyers are looking for a lifestyle change. They have certainly a substantial amount of equity. They can come to our area and feel like they're getting a great value and obviously upgrading their lifestyle. Just a point of fact, 2017, 44,000 people moved into the Denver metro area. That excludes Boulder, excludes Fort Collins, excludes Colorado Springs, 44,000. That's 80% of the people who live in this county. So growth is pushing some people out. Growth is pushing the values of residential real estate up. We're going to see that. California, feel sorry for them, natural disasters. Their governor gave an income tax increase last year. Their property taxes are going up. And yet their real estate values are substantially higher than here, and some of these folks are, again, moving here like they did in the 80s and 90s for lifestyle change, and they can afford it. Texas real estate is not as expensive typically as the greater La Plata County real estate on average, on par, but they're coming for lifestyle, and they probably have had the enjoyment of a great continual job and employment for the last several years, and we're going to see more Texans, as Bob will share with you. I love this institution. I went to college here. I don't like to talk about it, but this is something we're going to talk about. Let me explain enrollment first, and then I'm going to talk why there's an impact and what our prediction is. Enrollment has slid for the last 4 years at Fort Lewis College. It's slid nationally and in Colorado at most every institution. Why? The least number of high school graduates in modern recorded history have graduated in the last 3 years. Whoever was having families 18 years ago is missing the boat here, right? So we had less kids. Here's another thing. We're having more traditional students, that's a high school graduate, that are taking gap years, more gap years, 1 gap year, maybe 2 gap years, maybe 3 gap years. And the next topic is, look at unemployment, very low. There's plenty of high school graduates who are going, I'm going to try the workforce well. I can get a much better job than I had my summer job in high school. I'm going to work and make some money and decide what I want to be. So we have all these anomalies, many other things I won't cover. But what's that mean to Durango, La Plata County? We have a great enrollment management team that's been hired recently here, doing a great job at the college. They've been here for about 60 days, making big changes. I see that dial changing. But for looking in the rearview mirror, what we had, if you lose 100 students, we lose 20 rental properties, not 20 renters, 20 rental units, condo, apartment, home. That's taking into consideration the students that live on campus even. So if you see, that is a major impact to our rental market. 2, City of Durango is going to get less sales tax. I can tell you, college students spend money. Don't you agree? They spend some money. If they're not here, they can't spend the money. 3rd, we have less labor supply for hospitality, recreation industries in La Plata County. This community's been fortunate to have the college students that like to fill those seasonal jobs. Tourism will continue to boom. We talked about it last year. We're talking about it this year again. Let's just say why. You're going to wash your cars on the way home today so we get rain and snow. That's positive. But we have this continued quality of life exposure nationally and internationally. We have great regional exposure, and national parks are still hot. Historic venues like Durango, Silverton, Narrow Gauge Train, still hot. We're on the loop for national parks. We're on the circuit. We're going to see these people continue to come. I've talked to the recreational vehicle RV park owners, up way over last year's in pre-bookings. Every one of them in Southwest Colorado I've talked to. So those are all good things. And then our population growth and feeder markets. Feeder markets are Arizona, New Mexico, California, Texas, Front Range. As that population grows, those people are looking for new vacation experiences. They're coming here. What is the importance of this slide? Tourists become residents. Has happened for my 40 years in the business. People come for 1 year, come for 7 years. At some point in that decision process, they're making a lifestyle change here. It could be for a second home, could be vacation home, could be retirement, or it could be to be gainfully employed in Durango and La Plata County. Land use code, number 1. Now, here's an interactive part. I got in the business 40 years. I mentioned that a few times. 2 months after I got in the business, the county commissioners abolished the 6-month-old land use code, and we had no code. In the industry, that was hard. Hard to figure out if I was to sell Sam a property and he wanted to do X with it, how would you know if he could do X with it? He could build 3 homes on that acreage? Don't know. We're going to have to go ask somebody. I have to tell you, it's your responsibility to be participatory, and I know a lot of you are. No matter what you're feeling, this is a participatory project because what we end up with is going to be with us for decades, and it's going to form the future of La Plata County. So it's a little bit of preaching on this, but we have to all contribute so that what comes out at the end in October and November is a product that we all can live with and enhances the quality of life for Durango and La Plata County. Is that a deal?